Shamrocks with our new Director of Hockey Operations, Sean Fisher. Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm great.
Good. So welcome aboard. And before we get into what you plan to do here, let's get a little of your background. I know you're from Kingston.
Born and raised Kingston, Ontario. Went to school in Sudbury, Ontario.
Okay.
Just moved back from Winnipeg, Manitoba, where I was living and working for the last 5 years.
All right. Now you're from Kingston, Ontario. Does everybody there they're required to wear a Don Cherry plaid jacket or no?
No, not quite. But we're
There on the bench?
No, I don't think so. But we're proud to have Grapes as a hometown boy.
It's good stuff. And of course, he was a coach as well. And I know that you went to school for history, but you always sort of aspired to teach as well. And so is that where the coaching aspirations came from?
Yeah, that's kind of I think where it started. You know, I wanted to be a history teacher, and I just kind of didn't work out, and ended up getting into teaching hockey. I think for me that kind of worked out okay.
Let's go back, like your first time coaching, and when you knew, you know what, this is for me. I want to pursue this. Was there a moment there? You have a memory there?
I was an assistant with the Sudbury Wolves band on AAA boys team in 2005, 2006, and we just had a really successful year. We finished first in the league. Ended up having 6 kids from that team get drafted in the OHL. So it was just a really successful year with a positive experience. Learned from a really great coach, great group of kids, and when you have a really positive experience and you have some success early, you kind of get the bug, I think, and you just kind of get into it. And that's,
For sure.
Since then. Yeah.
Now, of course, it's not always going to be success, right? I mean, you're going to hit bumps along the road. How about the first time you hit some bumps with a team? How did you respond to that, and how did you sort of map the kids through it?
Well, the very next season, I went to another organization, the Nickel City Suns program, and we didn't have a very successful year on paper, results-wise. We didn't win a whole lot of games. We won only a handful of games all season long. But again, the kids showed improvement. We promoted kids to the next level, and that's essentially what it is all about in minor hockey, and that's especially what it's about here with the Shamrocks.
That's right. Now, we were talking about maybe some pro coaches that inspired you a bit. You mentioned the likes of Roger Nielsen, Paul Maurice. Let's start with Nielsen. I know that, my hockey background covering the game, he was a very innovative coach. Is that something that sort of motivated you?
Yeah. The innovation, the creativity, implementing video. There's so many things that every coach at almost every level does today, and they do it because Roger started. That's why, and that's why he would be an inspiration for me, and I'm sure he is for almost any hockey coach that you would sit down and ask.
And you look at how far it's come since he started with that, and all the tools you have at your luxury now. As you've gone on as a coach yourself, how much of a learning experience have you had, sort of, fooling around with different coaching tools and learning what works and what doesn't work? What's that been like for you?
Well, specifically the last 3 years with the University of Manitoba women's program, I got to really get into the technology side and the video editing side of the game. That was one of my responsibilities with the team, and it's something I enjoy doing. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. You have to be very diligent about it. But the way that the technology has come and some of the things that are out there, coaching aids and coaching tools, and that's what they are. It's ever changing, and it's pretty exciting actually.
And why not take advantage of it, right?
Exactly.
Now, Paul Maurice, what's your attraction to the way he coaches?
What I like about Paul is just the way that he handles the media, the way that he handles himself off the ice, away from the game. I don't think even though he's passionate, and sometimes you see him behind the bench fired up like any coach, I don't think he takes the game too seriously. I really like that about him. He's able to kind of, it seems to me like he's able to kind of check hockey at the door, and it's a job for him, and he doesn't let it eat at him and work at him too much. And I respect that. So I think I really like Paul, his approach to the game away from the rink.
And I imagine that's something that you want to teach to your players here with the Shamrocks too, is that you have a passion for the game, you love the game, that's why you're here, but don't let it dominate your life all the time.
Yeah, we're building positive young women to go into society more so than we're building hockey players.
Right.
That would be our number one priority here.
It's good stuff. So now that you are here,
Mhm.
what are your initiatives? What's your plan? What do you want to bring to this program?
Well, I'm excited to get started. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't, itching for, the 1st of September so we can actually, kind of get into some games and whatnot. But I think the thing that we talk about here a lot is building is people, culture, brand. Those three things kind of with,
Mhm.
and it's work on, and we're excited about it.
And how did you boss find you?
He reached out to me. I mean, the like we talked about off camera, the hockey community is so small,
It really is.
but and the women's community is even smaller, and so we were able to find each other, and it's worked out great so far. I've been down here a month, and I think it's going pretty smoothly so far.
Great, and I know that we spoke off camera as well, where you said that no knock on men's hockey or boys hockey, but you do enjoy working more with the women and the girls side of it. Why is that?
I got into coaching in the boys side, like I mentioned, and about 2008 in Kingston, I got into coaching the women's side, and I found that I really like the eagerness to learn from the female side of the game. That's what I really like about coaching girls hockey is their willingness to learn, their desire to get better. They're far more receptive to feedback, I find. So that's what I like.
So on that note, your message to some of the players you're going to be coaching very soon, what would it be? Would it be don't be afraid to come to me with questions and strike up a line of communication because I always want you to learn the next step?
Yeah, it's a two-way street, and the thing that I always tell players is, I'm gonna ask you questions. I'm gonna prod you and try and get what I can out of you, but I'm also not a mind reader. So if there's something going on, and that's any good coach is going to build rapport and dialogue with their players early and often and maintain that throughout the season. And that's a goal for myself and our entire staff.
Well, welcome aboard.
All right, thanks very much.
Good to have you.
Okay.